When we look at Elon Musk, we see the rockets, the electric cars, and the staggering net worth. But behind the technological empires and the billionaire status lies a psychological engine that operates on a different wavelength. It's a mindset engineered for solving problems once thought impossible. This isn't about mere business strategy or luck. It's about a fundamental way of thinking, a mental framework that deconstructs reality and rebuilds it according to his vision. His name is synonymous with the future, yet his methods are rooted in timeless principles of logic. Beyond the headlines and the controversies lies this consistent cognitive engine he applies to every venture, from colonizing Mars to rewiring the human brain. This is his true competitive advantage. To understand his success, we must first decode the psychology that powers his ambition.
So when everybody leaves, it's just Elon sitting at home, brushing his teeth, just a bunch of ideas bouncing around your head. When did you realize that that's not the case with most people?
I think when I was, 5 or 6 or something. I thought I was insane. It was just strange. Because it was clear that other people did not. Their mind wasn't exploding with ideas.
The foundational pillar of Musk's psychology is his reliance on first principles thinking. While most people reason by analogy, comparing new problems to ones they've seen before, Musk goes to the source. He boils every challenge down to its most fundamental, undeniable truths. The physics of the problem. For example, instead of accepting that batteries were expensive, he calculated the raw material cost of their components, discovering he could build them for a fraction of the price. Reasoning by analogy is intellectually safe. It's an iteration on what already exists. First principles thinking is a rebellion against the way things are done. It requires the courage to discard all assumptions and the discipline to build a conclusion from scratch, based only on what is proven to be true. This is why he can enter a century-old industry and redefine its limits.
And strange. I don't think you'd necessarily want to be me. People would like it that much. It's very hard to turn it off.
With a new path charted by first principles, the next psychological trait is an almost superhuman tolerance for risk and failure. In the early days, Musk famously invested his entire fortune from PayPal into SpaceX and Tesla, pushing both companies to the absolute brink of bankruptcy. He has stated that if things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. For him, failure is not a source of shame or a signal to stop. It is simply a data point. Think of the early SpaceX launches, which failed spectacularly on a global stage. For most, this would be career-ending humiliation. For Musk, it was simply invaluable flight data. This emotional detachment is critical. He treats business like a scientific experiment. You form a hypothesis, you run the test, and you analyze the results, especially when they end in a fireball.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
What fuels this relentless drive through monumental risk and hardship? It's a motivation that transcends money. Musk is propelled by a mission-driven purpose. His goals are not framed in quarterly earnings, but in species-level objectives. Making humanity a multi-planetary species with SpaceX and accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy with Tesla. This grand sense of purpose acts as an unshakable foundation. This purpose functions as a powerful gravitational force, pulling in brilliant minds who want to solve existential problems rather than optimize revenue. The mission becomes the ultimate filter, creating a culture of people willing to endure immense pressure for a goal larger than themselves. It justifies the sacrifice and makes the impossible seem merely improbable, a shared belief that bends reality.
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone.
This grand vision is built on a process of relentless, microscopic iteration, all powered by a constant and aggressive feedback loop. Musk actively seeks out criticism. He has famously said that he wants to know what's wrong, not what's right. He creates environments where negative feedback is not just welcomed, but required. Most leaders build shields to deflect criticism. Musk builds magnets to attract it. He understands that ego, entropy, and complacency are the natural enemies of progress. Whether in a design review or walking the factory floor, he is hunting for the inconvenient truth. This creates an intense, often uncomfortable environment, but it ensures the organization is always at war with its own weaknesses.
One of the most difficult choices I ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. And I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die.
So, the psychology of Elon Musk is not a single trait, but a powerful combination of interlocking principles. It begins with deconstructing problems to their core truths through first principles. It's fortified by an embrace of failure as a tool for innovation. It's fueled by a mission so vast it makes conventional obstacles seem trivial. And it is refined daily by an obsessive hunger for critical feedback. This is more than a mindset. It's a complete operating system for turning science fiction into reality. This system is his ultimate invention. Not a physical product, but a process for radical problem solving. It's a scalable model that suggests our limits are defined not by resources, but by the quality of our thinking. It ultimately challenges us to question our own assumptions and reconsider what is truly possible when a determined mind decides to rewrite the rules of the game.
I went to Russia 3 times to look at buying a refurbished ICBM. And I can tell you it was very weird going there in 2000, late 2001, 2002, going to the Russian rocket forces and saying, I'd like to buy 2 of your biggest rockets, but you can keep the nuke. They thought I was crazy, but I did have money, so that was okay.